Since this war began, many of us have been adding various things to our services. If it's things in the Siddur that are more regulated, we usually don't say it, but we're saying it now, like Avinu Malkeinu and such. Or if it's spontaneous additions that are not usually in the Siddur, such as a chapter of Tehillim of sorts, Mishabeirachs of different shapes and sizes. All of this is needed, but there's one little fear that I have, because we have already reached the 3-week mark since this war began. And that's the word of Chazal that says, Ha'oset filato keva, en filato tachanunim. A person who makes his davening permanent. Namely, it's words he has to say every day, and he has to get through it, and ultimately, once he gets through it, then he can move on. En filato tachanunim. His prayer is not genuine requests from God, but rather it's things that he or she feels they have to say, be it because they're a religious person, be it because it's the way they grew up, be it for any reason. They have to sort of get through it and say, done that, move on. As Rav Soloveitchik said many a times, a Jew should never be in a situation of ois davening, namely, I finished davening, it's over with, and not enjoy the actual davening itself, not see any benefit or any significance in the actual experience of davening. From this perspective, I want to warn everyone that even though it's been 3 weeks, and even though we're getting used to adding these additions, we shouldn't get used to it. Every day, we should look into part of that Mishabeirach or that Avinu Malkeinu that previously we didn't look into, and try to think to ourselves, well, why is this relevant today? We can't do that with every line there. That will take forever. But at least with one line there, we can go ahead and say, well, how is this relevant today? My advice before you daven, look at the news. See what's on the agenda. See what new needs have come up. Take one need and put it into your davening. Take one of the many challenges we're dealing with, from soldiers in the field, to wounded in the hospital, to hostages, lo aleinu, and say, today, this is my agenda item. If you do that, then hopefully none of us will get used to saying these additional prayers, but rather will see its need and its relevance every day. And indeed it will be genuine tachanunim before God, genuine requests before God, and hopefully God will grant us our request.